So I don't know that there's a ton of great options, but the Guardians have to be aggressive.
Bull.
Adam the Bull joining us on FT Live for the first time. You can follow him at Adam the Bull. He's been a longtime friend of mine. I've been on his shows many times. You can hear him on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, the Ultimate Cleveland Guardian Show, and the podcast, The Bullpen with Adam the Bull. I was on his show a couple weeks ago talking Guardians. They've been even better since then. So how you doing, Adam? What's up?
I'm doing great, Scott. How are you? How are you guys? I got to tell you, Todd, it's great to hear a baseball player with a New York, New Jersey accent, because when I was a kid, I was like, every baseball player is from the South. None of them sound like me. I grew up in New York, and I'm like, what is happening here? I got no baseball players when they talk that sound like a Northeasterner, and I love it. Eric.
Appreciate it.
Leo Mazzilli?
I'll give you a bizarre story. You brought up Lee Mazzilli. Here's a bizarre story. Lee Mazzilli's, I think it's so many years ago, I'm so old, but when I was playing Babe Ruth League, right? I think that's what it was called when I was 13. Lee Mazzilli's nephew, I believe it was his nephew. Maybe it was a made-up nephew, but our catcher on our team swore to me he was Lee Mazzilli's nephew. Now, maybe he was lying. I don't know that I ever confirmed it. The kid's name was Mitch Margulies. How I remember that, I have no idea. But we were one win away from the national tournament. We played for the New York State title in 1984. We beat Gerritsen Beach to win the Brooklyn Championship, and we lost in the state championship game. And part of the reason we lost is because I got hit by a pitch, and I charged a mound, and I got kicked out of the game. What an idiot I was, but I was 13. I was out of control.
Wow, look at you.
You went. I love that. At 13, you got hit by a pitch, and you only in the Northeast, bro. Respect.
That's right.
Stop, Don.
That's right.
Stop.
No,
Stop.
I love it.
Don't let Bull bring his lies onto this show. You charged the mound in the championship game in the New York State. Come on, Bull.
I swear to you, it was dumb. I admit now that I'm old. I can admit it's dumb, but I did that. I was a lunatic.
Did you get
him? I need a camcorder. I need a camcorder VHS video of that.
I was trying to do the Nolan Ryan, Robin Ventura. I actually don't even know if that had happened yet. I don't remember the timeline, but no, I got there and then it got broken up and I got kicked out of the game and I got booed by the other fans. It was terrible.
You got your nickname from a really good buddy of mine, Leon Bull Durham, bro. He was my hitting coach for Team USA and Eric's hitting coach. We were on the same team, man. He would always come back to he was the best. After a game, he'd pour himself some Bombay. He'd be, Frazier, I got half left. Boom. Every game, he'd give me some of that Bombay, and we would be just chilling. I love that.
I grew up in New York, but I'm a Cubs fan because my dad was a Brooklyn Dodgers fan. And then when the Dodgers left, he didn't wait for the Mets, and he liked Ernie Banks a lot as a kid. And so I played I'm a lefty. The weird combo. I'm a lefty fielder, righty hitter. And now I'm fat as a house. So what are you going to do? But at the time, I was like you can't tell by the camera, but I'm short. I'm 5'8", but I've been 5'8" basically since like 11 years old. So when I was 11, I was super tall. I was like the second tallest kid in my class. I played first base. I was the king of the 13-year-old 3-6-3 double play. Nobody turned it better. And I played first base, big kid. And so my friends started calling me Bull because my two favorite players as a kid were Leon Durham. Well, Leon Durham, Ryan Sandberg, and Lee Smith. Those are my three favorite guys. Still pissed that the Cubs traded Lee Smith to the Red Sox for Calvin Schiraldi and Al Nipper. That was a disgrace. It was a disgrace then. It should never have happened. But yeah, once I went to college and I started doing radio because I realized I wasn't good enough to play baseball professionally, that I gotta talk about it. We had another roommate named Adam, and they were like, "What's your nickname?" I said, "My friends call me the Bull," and it just took off. And I got a long last name that's really not good for the air, so I just go with that. But I love Leon Durham. He was the man.
That's full. That's cool. I love
FT is headed to the MLB All-Star Game this year, and there's only one way you should be finding tickets for any ball game. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, so they have you covered for all of your baseball ticket needs.
I'm super pumped to hit the Futures game this year. That new skills competition looks electric.
I agree, Kratz. It's like the Olympics for baseball. Cannot wait to see that. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. Baseball season's in full swing, and you don't want to miss out. SeatGeek has your tickets to every game and, of course, concerts, festivals, and more.
Every ticket's backed by their buyer guarantee, and SeatGeek is the only site that lets you return your tickets ahead of the event with swaps.
And Kratz, you know FT came through for the people. Use our code FOUL for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code FOUL. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app, please.
I love Bull also. What a hitting coach. He would say, just gotta go hit the ball. I'll see you later, Fraze, okay? Just gotta go hit the ball. That was a good hit. That's all he'd really tell us. But let me tell you this. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Are the Guardians actually good?
That's the bizarre question, right? My co-host of the Ultimate Guardian Show and I, 2 weeks ago, we were like, we're going to stop saying they shouldn't be doing this because they are. And it's, 60 games or whatever it is now. And yeah, there's certainly clear flaws on this team. They're getting nothing out of shortstop. They're getting very little out of right field. They're getting almost nothing offensively out of catcher. Who knew Bo Naylor would go from he's not that great defensively and he can hit to I can't hit and I'm the best pitch framer in the league. I don't know how that turned around so quickly. And I'm worried about the starting rotation, and I'm worried about how much the bullpen's getting used. But in the end, I think Stephen Vogt's done an amazing job getting in and out of the line, with his lineup moves, keeping guys fresh. And he's done the best he can with a bullpen that's, being forced to work so much because the starting rotation has not been very reliable. But yeah, I think they are a good team. And I'm hopeful that for the first time in forever, ownership will open up that purse and spend some money, which they haven't done. And I've screamed and yelled about it like a lunatic. Scott and I talked about this when he came on my show. I hate that they don't spend enough. And, you've had this great front office for so many years. If they had some more money to spend, who knows how many more games. They've already won a ton of games, obviously, since they've been here. But I do think they're a good team. And I'm rambling now, but I think they can be better. I would love to see them do an anti-Guardians move and try to make a blockbuster trade with the Blue Jays, see if you can get Bo Bichette. I love all their starting pitchers. Like, be aggressive. Let's go. Let's make this team better because I personally think the American League's kind of open. I know the Yankees and Orioles are really good, but they're not like all-time good. At least I don't think. So let's go. Let's be competitive and let's be even better. Let's not settle for being good. Let's try to be great. So hopefully they'll do that.
So Bo Bichette, that's what it is. That's what'll get that. That's what'll get that Rajay Davis home run to be a walk-off home run instead of, that like if the Guardians, if you're the Guardians ownership, if they have money, if they don't have money, that's not what I'm going to sit here and argue. Is Bo Bichette depleting 3 players from 3 of your top 5 players from your farm? Is Bo Bichette what pushes them over to be World Series champions?
I think it gives him a much better chance because it's a massive hole in the lineup. And I know he hasn't been great so far this year, but yeah, I mean, you guys know better than me how good he is. And I think he's good. I think he'd come here. He'd be in a winning environment. Obviously, the Blue Jays are a mess right now. And I think he would succeed. I don't think that's it. I mean, I think they'd be competitive. I do think they need another starting pitcher too. So I'd love to see them do that, whether it's one of the Blue Jays guys or go get Jesus Luzardo from the Marlins. And yes, you're right, Eric. It's going to cost a lot to get him. But the Guardians have been sitting on all these prospects for so many years. Some of them have done well. Some of them have not. And it's time. And honestly, I'm not trading whoever they're going to end up drafting with the first overall pick in the draft this year. But outside of that, I'm willing to move almost anybody in the right deal. And I personally think Bichette is the right guy to get because then you lengthen what's been a much better lineup than expected. I think it would be big. So, yes, does it make them win the World Series? I mean, you guys know, of course, you never know once you get to the playoffs. But I think the Guardians with one more pitcher and a shortstop can be very competitive against these other teams.
I'm going to squash that just because I don't think the Blue Jays will make the deal. And also, because obviously Atkins came out and said this weekend, right, that they're not trading Vladdy and Bo, at least right now, right? Maybe after this year, if they end up finishing like they look right now. The other thing to keep in mind, Bo Bichette's not hitting well this year.
I know.
He's got an 81 OPS plus. I'm not saying that's the problem, though, because some people will look at that and be like, why do I want that? I'm buying stock in Bo Bichette. I actually think he needs a change of scenery, and he's just been in the same spot for a while, and they didn't do much this past offseason. I just think that's actually going to also hurt a trade, right? You're still going to have that battle where they're going to go, oh, well, we don't think, he's worth this right now, all that crap. I think it's tough. So I just want to Yeah, so let's try and find another spot too here. Like,
Yeah.
try and figure out any other holes that we can fill. So you feel like shortstop's the big spot though on the offensive side? Because in my mind, Bull, I think the lineup is okay. It's definitely better than it was last year. I know they changed the approach and all of that, but
Right.
you still look at the lineup and you're like, this lineup is doing this, and then you look at the peripheral stats and even just some of the clutch stats, like they are delivering constantly with runners in scoring position. Like some of that is skill, some of that usually regresses to the mean. So I'm just trying to figure out some other names that we can throw out there to help them.
Well, the fans here want to get Francisco Lindor back, but obviously the Mets are not going to eat all that money to get him back because the Guardians wouldn't take him unless they had to pay him like 10, 12 million a year, and he's got 7 years left. The fans want him back bad. They feel like he'll be better here. It's tough. Obviously, there's not a ton of options at the position, and most of the teams that are, terrible, like the White Sox and the Marlins and the Rockies, they don't have a lot to offer in terms of the lineup and in terms of shortstop. But so I don't know that there's a ton of great options, but the Guardians have to be aggressive, and whether it's getting better as in the starting rotation or in the lineup, they need to do both. But to your point about the clutch stats, yes, I know it's been way out of whack this year, but sometimes it doesn't right itself till the following season. And, because it's baseball, right? You never know. Sometimes the numbers tell you one thing and then it just keeps going the other way when you expect it to eventually settle down. And maybe it will, but they just had an incredible month of May, and that was without Stephen Kwan the whole month. So now that he's back, he goes 4 for 8 in his first 2 games back. I can't believe Jose Ramirez had 33 RBIs in a month that Stephen Kwan didn't play. It's just nuts.
Yeah, and I was about to call. Go ahead, Kratzy.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, are we missing as national baseball fans, because we don't watch all Cleveland games?
Yeah.
Are we missing what David Fry is doing? And is what David Fry doing, is he overshadowing what Jose Ramirez is doing? And who should be their candidate for MVP of the American League?
As great as Fry's been, I'd still go with Jose Ramirez. You can make an argument for Emmanuel Clase. He's been, you guys know, better than me. I didn't play in the big leagues. When you have a closer that just is like a sure thing, as opposed to like some of these teams, when you have a closer that you're worried about blowing it all the time, it kills the whole team. But Clase's been lights out. But David Fry has been incredible. I'm not going to lie. I did not see this coming. I remember on opening day, I was pissed off that Bo Naylor wasn't in the starting lineup. I'm like, what are we doing? Why is David Fry in the starting lineup on opening day? What the hell is happening here? Well, don't I look like an idiot? Because David Fry has been incredible. I think as of like a week or so ago, he was only one of 5 Indians/Guardians players of all time to have an on base at the time of 500 or better at this point in the season. And the only other guys were like Tomey and Manny. It was just, I think Larry Doby maybe. Like these all-time great players. And this guy's a guy who was in the minors forever. He's 28, I think, whatever he is. But, man, all he does is put the bat on the ball. He has such a great approach at the plate. Obviously I shouldn't say obviously. He's probably not going to keep it up at this pace. But they have definitely found something with him. They've had so many of these prospects like Arias and Rocchio and these other guys who have come up and have really struggled. And this one guy who's a non-prospect, like nobody thought anything of him, has just been fantastic. And the guys love him. He is really popular on this team, and they got great chemistry. And again, as you guys know better than anybody, there's something to be said for that when you got great chemistry in the locker room. And these guys certainly have it right now.
Eric Kratz here from FT. I'm a former athlete that really pays attention to his routine. And AG1 every morning before my workouts is something that gets my day going.
Hey, Braun here. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut health support, and it's backed by multiple research studies so you can trust what you're putting in your body.
Unlike other products which only test their ingredients in isolation, AG1 tests their formula as a whole.
Ready for this stat? 97% of people in a research study felt more energy after 30 days of drinking AG1. If I had to recommend one product to support whole body health, it's AG1, and that's why FT is excited to have them as a new partner. Starting your journey with AG1 is a win. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/foul. That's drinkag1.com/FOUL Go check it out, FT fam.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And my last question to you is,
Yeah.
they got the Royals tonight. Seth Lugo on the bump.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the Royals, man. I know they made some great acquisitions in the offseason. Nothing that's going to blow your head off, but they did make some key good players. Did you see this coming from them this year? Only 4 games back.
I thought the Royals would be better. One of my co-hosts on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, we were arguing who was going to be better, the Royals or the Tigers this year. So I won that argument, at least right now. It certainly things could change. I said the Royals, but I certainly did not think they were going to be this good. But I like what they did. You know, they drafted all those pitchers high. Really, they didn't all pan out over the years, you know, after they had been good. And now they went the veteran route. And I've always liked Seth Lugo. Because, you know, and I had worked before I came to Cleveland, I had worked in New York on the Fan there for a few years part-time. And I always thought Seth Lugo had some talent, and I never understood why the Mets never really gave him a chance to be a starter. Nobody could have seen him pitching this well. He's been fantastic. And I know this is nerdy to bring up, but I'm an idiot for trading him off my fantasy team a month ago. But he's been lights out. And no, I didn't see them being anywhere close to this good. But when your superstars perform, right? Bobby Witt Jr. has been great. Their old superstar, Salvador Perez. I think we got to start talking about, I don't know, maybe you guys are already. I don't know. Nobody here knows what the hell they're talking about when it comes to baseball. So I think Salvador Perez is going to be a Hall of Famer. But having Vinny Pasquantino back this year healthy after he missed, I think, almost all of last season has been huge. And I'm still worried about their bullpen, though. MacArthur's been okay as the closer, but I don't trust him. If I were them, I'd get a more proven entity there. We'll see if they spend money. But I think they're legit. I think they're good. I think in the end, it'll be the Guardians and Twins 1-2, but I think the Royals will be in the mix for most.
I agree with you on that one. It's the bullpen that separates the Guardians and Royals for me right now. I think that's a good call. The Royals bullpen, at least numbers wise right now, is significantly worse than Cleveland, and Cleveland's done a really nice job of building bullpens over the last several years. But it's cool. I mean, we didn't think that we'd have like a marquee AL Central matchup in June. It's the Royals and the Guardians. I like it. I love it, especially because the Royals did shit, and we all love that. Right. Fans love that. It makes things exciting. It markets the sport, and now it's freaking paying off for them. If they don't have Waka and Lugo and do some of the damage they did in the offseason, they're not here right now. That's right. So that's why I know you mentioned Cleveland's frustrated because they're like, if we did that, where would we be? Because my thing is, I think they're surprising everyone. But Adam, I said this on the show the other day. I was like, I don't think Cleveland is a World Series contender. Are they a playoff contender? Yes, but I still have a hard time seeing this team even be the Diamondbacks from last year. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it right now.
And I get it. I get what you're saying, and but what's great about baseball as opposed to, and it's like this way in hockey, but I don't talk much about hockey. But in football and basketball, like you kind of know the teams that are going to win. But in baseball, yes, the Guardians on paper certainly do not look like a World Series contender. And right now, I don't know that they are. But as you said, right, maybe they're not as good as Arizona or Texas. But all the time we have upsets in the playoffs in baseball. The pitching staff gets hot. And if you added, let's say they did trade for Jesus Luzardo, and I know it would take a lot. And let's say Gavin Williams, who is as talented as any pitcher they have, is healthy finally. Hopefully we'll see him late June, early July. If you had, in theory, Luzardo, Gavin Williams, and Tanner Bybee as your top 3 starters in the playoffs. And I know, Bybee and Gavin Williams are young pitchers. They haven't pitched that much, but there's a ton of talent there. I don't see why they can't be competitive if they improve the lineup and if they added a legitimate top 3 starter, why they couldn't hang in there. Yes, they'd be underdogs to the Orioles and Yankees, and they should be, but we've seen upsets before, and the Guardians shouldn't just sit on their hands and say, well, we're not as good as those teams. They may never be as good as those teams. It's a chance now to win. I'm not saying they got to have a $200 million payroll, but there's no reason they couldn't have a 140, 150. They're at 90 or 100, wherever the heck they are now. Let's go. Let's be aggressive. We want to see it. I want to see it. And by the way, Scott, to your point about a big series, normally, so school here ends a little earlier than where I grew up in New York. The school here ends for most kids this week. But normally, school's still going on, even though the weather's great. Royals, Guardians, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you'd get like 12,000 people at a game. And I think we're going to have some pretty big crowds in Cleveland. I'm going to the Thursday afternoon game. And so I'm excited. I think it's a fun series to watch. And tonight's pitching matchup, Guardians need McKenzie to pitch well. He's given up 5 home runs his last 2 starts. Obviously, the velocity's down from where it had been in the past. So we're worried about him. But I'm excited to watch those 2 guys go at it tonight.
Yeah, same here. It was perfect timing to have you on. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Always love talking ball with you, and thanks for coming on our show. And you can catch Adam. You know, he has everything posted. He's up to date on Twitter at Adam the Bull, and he's on the Cleveland Sports Show, Ultimate Cleveland Guardian Show, and has his own pod, The Bullpen, with Adam the Bull. Great catching up with you, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Adam the Bull with us on FT Live. Does an awesome job covering Cleveland sports.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.